Hello everyone, welcome back to part 8 on how to create a Among Us type game on Roblox. So let's start. Okay, so let's make a voting system. So add a part, make it however you want, and make sure it's anchored by pressing model anchor. And I'm just gonna make it this big and rename it to pad 1, and let's add a surface GY to it, surface GY, and add a text label to the surface GY, and to the text label size to 1,0,1,0. So this should cover the entire part, and set the text to 0 for now, and make sure that text scaled is set to true, and the font to Gotham bold. Okay, so this should be working. And also add a int value to the pad 1 int value, and just keep it at keep the name value, and duplicate this pad just for testing. I'm just gonna make 3 of them. Rename the second one to pad 2 and the third one to pad 3. Okay, so group all of them, Control J, or right click group, and rename them to voting pads. Let's put them here. And also I'm just gonna make the the time to something big, like 60. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing it for testing my game, so I can test my votes perfectly. And now what you're gonna do is insert a script to script service, and rename it to, rename it to votes handler, and we're gonna create a player added event, a game.players.player added connect function player, and we'll create a int value, local value is equal to instance.new int value, comma player, and value dot name is equal to voted, and value dot no, you don't have to parent it, just set the value is equal to 0 for now. And we're gonna copy this and paste it here, and change this value to value 2 and value 2 and value 2, and rename, and also change this to a string value and rename it. We're gonna set value2.name to previous map, and set the value to nil. Okay, so now we will wait 10 seconds, and we'll look through all of the voting pads for I, V in pairs game.workspace dot voting pads get children do. And also we will create a cooldown. So actually, before we do that, v.touched connect function hit local humanoid is equal to hit dot parent confined first child humanoid confined first child. Oh, hit local humanoid is equal to hit dot parent confined first child humanoid, and make sure that you change hit to hit without a capital H. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we will do if humanoid, then local player is equal to game dot players get player from character hit dot parent. Okay, so then we will check if the player is in here. If player, then if player, then okay, so now we can start scripting the main voting system. So if player confined first child voted dot value is equal to 0, then we'll create a variable for the voted value. So local voted is equal to player confined first child voted, and we're gonna create another variable for the previous map. Local previous map is equal to player confined first child previous map. So just copy this name and paste it here, confined first child player previous map, and we're gonna create a shortcut for the value that's inside of the voting pad. So local value is equal to v confined first child value. Okay, so this should be our variables, and we'll create a cooldown. So go here to here, and we'll do local cooldown is equal to instance dot new bool value comma player, and we set cooldown dot name is equal to cooldown, and cooldown dot parent, no, not the dot parent, we'll just set it to, actually let's set it to true. Cooldown dot val, no, we're not gonna do that. I think we don't have to do that. We can just say if not, no, if player confined first child cooldown. Actually, let's put this cooldown here on the player added event, and cooldown dot value is equal to false, and here we will check if the cooldown, let's firstly create a variable for the cooldown. Local cooldown is equal to player confined first child cooldown, and we're gonna do if cooldown dot value is equal to false, then format selection, actually let's put a and right here, Control A, and format selection, format document, and if cooldown is equal to false, then cooldown is equal to true, and if player confined first child the voted value is equal to 0, then we have all of these variables, and we'll set v value dot value is equal to value dot value plus 1, and v confined first child v dot surface gy dot text label text label dot text is equal to value dot value. Okay, and also make sure you write value with a capital V, not the actual value variable, just the value value dot value. Okay, so now we'll put an else. No, before we put an else, we will set the previous map dot value is equal to v dot name. Okay, so we're gonna put an else. Workspace dot voting pads, find first child actually we don't have the, let me see if this will work. I don't really think it will work. Oh yeah, it won't. So we're gonna create another variable, local previous map is equal to player find first child previous map. Copy this and paste it here. Okay, so workspace dot voting pads find first child previous. Let's put here dot value inside of this variable and find first child previous map dot name previous map. Find first child previous map dot name voting pads find first child previous map dot name dot value is equal to 0 and previous map workspace find first child previous map dot name. Let's remove this and put it here. I think this will be better. Is equal to previous map find dot value dot surface GUI dot text label dot text is equal to workspace find first child voting pads v dot value. Actually, we're not gonna do that. Copy this and paste it here, put a closing bracket and workspace dot voting pads find first child previous map dot value is equal to, oh, I messed up. Okay, so what you have to do is to copy this and put a -1. So this is how it should look like. Let me zoom in. Workspace dot voting pads find first child previous map dot value is equal to actually dot value let me see what I named it. Dot value is equal to workspace dot value -1. Okay, so this should be working. I think we have to test it, but not now. And then we'll set the text. So paste the thing that we just copied, and set the dot value is equal, no, not dot value, dot surface GUI dot let's just create a variable for the local pad is equal to workspace confined child the previous map.value and pad dot surface gy dot text label dot text is equal to pad dot value, and we will set the previous map dot value is equal to v dot name. Okay, so let's test this and see if it's working. It should be working. I really hope this works from the beginning. Okay, so let's see. When I touch it, nothing happens. Let's see why that happened. Floating pads, pad 1. Let's see if the value is set to 1. No, it's not set to 1. Why does nothing happen? Oh, I know why. Because I set the cooldown to 2 and I didn't set it to false again. So then we're gonna wait 1 second and cooldown is equal to false. Okay, so this should be working. Let's see if our cooldown updates. It should update though. So it's not actually working. But that's fine. We will try figuring out why that happened. So we wait 10 seconds. We look through the voting pads colon get children. v.touched colon connect function hit. So local humanoid is equal to hit.parent colon find first child. Oh, here's why. I wrote humanoid wrong. Humanoid. Okay, so I'm sure that this will work now. It didn't give us any errors because it didn't found any humanoid. Because I wrote humanoid instead of humanoid with a. So let's see if our cooldown value updates. As you can see, oh, holy crap. Oh, it's because I didn't set the voted value to 1. So we will set here. Okay, so voted dot value is equal to 1. I'm sure that this will work now. Let's clear the output for now. As you can see, oh my god. If player.voted.value is equal to 0, then value.value is equal to value plus 1. Value is equal to v confined for child value. Value.value is equal to value.value plus 1. And v.surface gy.text label.value is equal to 1. And previous oh, it's because we messed up again. So we're gonna set the player find first child voted dot value is equal to false. No, is equal to 0. This should work. I hope we don't have an error again. That wouldn't be that great. and I don't know why is my character not loading. Okay, it's loaded now. So let's touch this. As you can see, it's set to 1, and the cooldown, we need to put the cooldown to 2 or something. As you can see, this one is set to 1, and when we touch this one is set to 1, and the other one is set to 0. And when we touch this one, the other ones go back to 0. And because I touched it again, it went back to 0. So let's try fixing that. Let's give it a bigger cooldown, like 2 or something. I hope this works. Let's clear the output again to see if we have any errors. Okay, so let's touch this one, and it seems don't have any cooldown. We'll fix that later. Let's fix the cooldown. Okay, so when we touch the if player, then if cooldown is equal to false, then let's put this here, I think. And format document, and here we should change if cooldown value is equal to. Oh no, we don't do that. That's bad. Let's just undo those changes. Until we have the cooldown here. So if cooldown is equal to false, then we will set the cooldown to true. Oh, cooldown dot value, that's why. And here cooldown dot value. I don't know why I keep messing up on these easy errors. Okay, so let's clear the output again. As you can see, it's not buggy anymore. And when you touch the other one, well, now we can't vote. Great. Let's see why cooldown dot value is equal to false. Let's just wait 1 second, and this should be working. Let me read the code again. If cooldown dot value is equal to false, then we have to put the cooldown dot value to, we have to set it to 0 to false. Either it's on the else or it's not. So I think this should be working. It might be working. Okay, so I'm an imposter. Of course I'm the imposter. I'm the only player on the game. And when you touch the other one, okay, so this is working great so far. As you can see, it's not buggy anymore, and it removes the other vote. And as you can see, it changes on the server, not on the client. So the other player will see that this is set to 1, and I will see that is set to 1. Okay, so now just for testing, we will let's add a script to service script service, and a value to replicate the storage, an int value, and to rename it to time. And then we will put a for loop for I is equal to let's put it to 13, 0, -1, do game dot replicate to storage, wait for child time dot value is equal to y, and then go down and put a wait 1 second. Okay, so now we'll just put a wait 10 seconds here, and this should be working. No, we don't do that. We will put a for loop for I comma v, Actually, let's make it a function. Local function function not choosing posture. Let's name this function to vote to get winner. Let's just name it to get winner and put these two brackets, and we will put a local pads is equal to, actually let's create a number, local number is equal to 0, and local winner is equal to 0 for now, and for I comma v in pairs do, and don't worry, I will change this right now. So let's get the pads for I comma v in pairs. Just write workspace dot voting pads get children do, and if v dot value is greater than number, then if it's greater than number, then we put number is equal to v, and winner is equal to v. Okay, so I don't really think this is going to work. So if v dot value is greater than number, then v number is equal to v, and this is equal to v, the winner is equal to v, and we're gonna wait 1 second, and we'll print winner. Actually, before we do that, we'll run this function and put these two variables up here, and we'll run the function get winner, and let's see if that works. So the time should be going down in 10 seconds. As you can see, it went from 13 to 10, 9, and let's try voting. I voted for this one. Actually, let's vote for pad 2. And when we are done voting, we have an error. So attempt to compare instance and number. If v dot value is greater than number, then let's change this to if v can find first child value is greater than number, then number is equal to v, and the winner is going to be equal to V. I really hope this works this time. So this pad should be the winner, and we have an error again. For I, V in pairs, voting pads can't get children. Do V if V can't find first child. If V can't find first child value, dot value is greater than number, then number is equal to V, and winner is equal to V. So let's try fixing that. So here we are after almost 24 hours straight. Not straight, but here we are after 24 hours. So I just found a fix for the error. So delete everything that's inside of our getWinners function, and we'll create a table for the pads. So look, pads table is equal to an empty table. So because we don't know the name of the pad, so because pad is going to be the we have a pad for each player. We didn't make the script quite yet. It's going to be for the next part. But in the future we will have a pad for each player that is still alive. So we don't know the name of the player, and the pad is going to be named the name of the player. So because we don't know the name of the player, we're not going to be adding it manually because we don't know the name of each pad. So local pads table, instead we'll add it using a script. So we will create a for loop for I, V in pairs workspace dot voting pads dot get children do for I, V in pairs workspace dot voting pads get children do if V, then so we'll check if the pad is still there, if the player hasn't left it yet. If V, then table dot insert, we will add it to the votes table, pads table, V. So we'll insert V. After doing that, we'll loop through the table for I, V in pairs, pads table for I, V in pairs, pads table. I don't know why that's not working. For I, V in pairs, pads table do if let's create a variable for the value that we created. Local val is equal to V find first child, not child value. So local value is equal to V find first child value. So we're done with that, and now we will check if val.value is greater or equal is greater than number. And remember, we set the number to 0. I will explain that in a bit. So if it's greater than number, then number is equal to val.value, and winner is equal to V. So V is going to be the name of the pad, and number is going to be the number of the votes. So let's say pad 1 had let's say pad 1, we have pad 1 and pad 2, pad 2 and pad 3. Let's add pad 3. So pad 3 is equal, let's say we have pad 3 had 3 votes, and pad 2 had 7 votes, 6 votes, and pad 1 had 2 votes. So we'll check if the number of votes that the pad has is greater than number. So let's say we are in the first item of the table, which is pad 1. So number is equal to 0. It's obviously bigger than 0. So the number is going to change to 2, since pad 1 has 2 votes. So number is going to be 2. And then we'll go back to the second item on the table, which is pad 2. So if pad 2 if the pad 2 dot votes is greater than number, so now number is 2, then number is equal to the number of votes. So it's going to change to 6 because 6 is greater than 2. Then winner is going to be the name of the pad. Okay, so now we'll go to the third item of the table. So we'll check if the number of votes of pad 3 is greater than number, so number is set to 6, but in here, and also I forgot to mention, because we were in the second item of the table, and pad 2 had 6 votes, then winner is going to be equal to pad 2. So winner is equal to pad 2. So it's equal to pad 2. Okay, so we'll go back to pad 3. So as I said, we check if the number of votes that pad 3 has is greater than number. In this case, it's not greater than 6 because pad 2 is the actual winner. He has 6 votes. We want to change number to the number of votes, and we want set the winner to pad 3. So now, after looping through all of the pads, we have a winner, which is pad 2, because he had the highest amount of votes. So now let's change this back to nil and the number to 0, and let's see if this works. And I forgot to return the winner. So return winner. I don't actually think we have to return the winner, but I'm just gonna do it just in case. So let's view the output. It should print the name of the winning pad. So let's touch pad 2 for now, and it should print the name of pad 2. Okay, so it printed pad 2 because pad 2 has the highest amount of votes. So this is going to be it for today's tutorial. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and share the video with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.